Coach come up and give a motivational speech in the afternoon each day. He was a running backs coach at the time by the name of Derek Foster. Coach Foster came up there, toughness and pushing through. He got real razzed up as his speech progressed. We had a video coordinator named Rocky. He finishes his speech and he goes, "Hit it, Rock!" And Set It Off by Boosie Badass played. As a young white man, it was my first time hearing that song, Set It Off. Yeah, we finna set it off. You heard me? I'm finna put you in the trash bag. Tired of all these knowing me right now, for real. You wanna talk shit? You wanna run your mouth? You want some gangster strut your mother in the house? We'll set this jaw. Yeah. And that was my first time hearing Set It Off. At Stanford University, it was the third or fourth week of camp. We were about where teams are right now. Right before the season, everybody's pissing and moaning. We had a different coach come up and give a motivational speech in the afternoon each day. He was a running backs coach at the time by the name of Derek Foster. Coach Foster came up there, toughness and pushing through. He got real razzed up as his speech progressed. We had a video coordinator named Rocky.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back.
What are you from the north or somewhere else?
I don't know, man. The north side of Atlanta, right down there with Bijan Robinson, dude, setting the, I believe, NFL single game record for yards after catch. Yak! 190 plus. Hell of a game last night, dude. Hell of a game by Bijan. Hell of a game in general. I thought the game last night, LA Rams, Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football, that game was wildin'. Absolutely wildin', that game. And, I mean, we got 30 minutes. That might be all I talk about this whole time, because the game was wildin'. It was a wildin'-ass game. And, you know, I heard him playing We Ready. You know that Archie Eversole track? We ready. We ready. Doesn't really work with this instrumental, but we ready for y'all. Yeah, dude. So, I mean, this game last night was so sick. It was so sick. There were so many twists and turns. I've never seen in a football game a team block a field goal, return it for a touchdown, and lose. Now, I believe I was at No-Gi Jiu-Jitsu for the first quarter of the game. By the time I turned it on in my car coming back to the house, around 6:30 or 7 p.m. last night, by the time I turned it on, it was already, I think, 14-0 Atlanta. And then I believe that's when you had the Bijan Robinson 93-yard touchdown. I might be wrong, but this guy's breaking off runs. Bijan Robinson. Now, I will go on the record and say that I thought Bijan Robinson was going to be a flop. That was very not ball-knowing of me. He's one of the best players in the league. And it's easy to say that, but after watching him last night. But, dude, did you see how he works after contact? They don't make guys like that very often anymore. Guys like Adrian Peterson, man. Guys like hell, I mean, you got Derrick Henry who doesn't eat until 4 p.m. I get it. You know, they do make some guys like that these days, but not many of them. And there's just so many twists and so many turns in this game last night. A lot of times when I have jiu-jitsu on a Monday night and it's a hard session, dude, I forget about the game. And it would have been easy to forget about a game like this one if you just looked at it on paper and judged it and said, well, you got one of the best teams in the in the NFC, in the Rams, and you got a team in the Falcons that struggled this year, don't have anything to play for. And I'm starting to think with NFL games that when teams have nothing to play for, it's a contrarian thing where they actually play better when they have nothing to play for. I think when you see a team with nothing to play for that plays well, it's either a really good thing because the guys are invested in the coach, they want to play for the coach, or on a negative side, maybe guys play better with nothing to play for because the pressure's off and when the lights are on, they don't handle pressure as well. Maybe that's a negative take. Maybe it's just the other way where they really respect the coach and they want to play for him no matter what. But my thought watching the Bengals is like, why couldn't we play to this level all year? I get it. Joey Burrow was gone. But when I think about the Bengals, it's just I always have a negative take on it. And you guys see how I made this about the Bengals. Welcome to the show, by the way. We're in the jar. A lot of people still don't know what that means. In the jar is an old phrase that my old college football coach would use, talking about when somebody's puckered up, you know, when somebody's wants to rant, wants to get wily, wants to get out and get some walking around money. You're in the jar a little bit, you know. Plug a Copenhagen wintergreen in your lip, you get in the jar, you start talking ball with a non-ball knower, you get in the jar and you rant. That's what this show is about. But it was a hell of a game last night, man. Stafford missed an opportunity, I think, to get the MVP award last night. I think in one game, he went from the MVP favorite to having no chance of winning the award. I think it's going to go to Drake May. Patriots look solid in all three phases. Mike Vrabel's completely turned it around in a year's time. We've said it on the show for a long, long time since he was hired in New England to be the head coach that he is a perfect fit, and that has come to fruition this season for the New England Patriots. I saw a headline this morning, though. Stephon Diggs on the negative TMZ columns in trouble for an incident that happened on December 2nd. Strangulation, they're calling it. Strangulation. Guy's got, I think, a couple of children's on the way with different women, like literally multiple children with multiple women on the way simultaneously. A guy who seems to indulge in the fruits of his labor, hanging out on boats with shorties in the off season with bags of pink powder. I'm not knocking Stephon Diggs. I actually really like his style. I like his swag. I like the way he plays. But look, the guy just seems to get lost in the sauce every now and then. Strangulation. There's probably a baby mom's that was talking back to him or something. Something about a kid or money or some earthly thing. And he probably deals with it with like 18 other women in the same week. And he just got sick of it. He got full of it and he grabbed her or whatever, And then you got a certain type of woman, I'd imagine, that you attract when you get lost in the sauce. Certain types of women when you're in a position like Stephon Diggs, where you got money, you got notoriety, you got some clout. Some of these women might be looking for a bag. And we have to have this conversation because so many men, and I'm not taking Diggs' side. I don't know any of the details. I just know that I don't even understand the legal process. Like, I read the word arraigned today, and I realized I still don't know what that means. What does arraigned mean? I have no clue. What does strangulation in a legal capacity mean? Like, what is that defined as by the legal code? I don't know. Okay. But when you're someone of his stature and you got money like him, you're having success like he has, I could guarantee it. I've never lived that life, but I could guarantee that you have to keep a keen eye out for women that want to come in your life and use you. Let's just keep it a buck for a second. I would imagine you'd have to have a pretty keen eye for those types of people. I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm not taking Diggs' side and saying he's not guilty. I don't know the details. Patriots released a statement saying that they support him, and until any further information comes out, they're going to support him. And I'd imagine he'll keep playing. Patriots looking solid on all three phases. Let's go back to the game last night. Why do I feel like Stafford lost the MVP race in one night? First of all, you can't lose to I think, what are they? 7-9 Atlanta Falcons. You can't lose to them. You had a chance to win the ball game late. Didn't come up with it. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Stafford, on that final drive, missed a wide open throw. I can't remember the guy's name. He was their fastest player. I think he's number 15 or something for the LA Rams. Had him on, oh man, what was the route he had him on? He had him wide open. Not pressured very bad, just missed the throw. Very uncharacteristic. Missed a couple throws. I think he missed another throw the very next play. They had two legitimate shots, I think, to hit a home run touchdown on the last series, and Stafford just missed him. He had trouble turning it over. I know I saw at least two interceptions. He might have thrown more than that. But again, they had some beautiful, I'm talking LA Rams. They had some beautiful plays called back. They were playing, was it DJ Humphries? OG tackle. I think he played at Bama. I remember the guy's name, DJ Humphries, I believe. And Stafford threw an absolute laser beam to Puka Nacua. I'm talking beautiful throw, beautiful catch. You will not see it on any of the Sports Center highlights because it was called back. DJ Humphries, I think was playing right tackle last night. He stepped in for somebody. Older player, had two really major penalties last night. Had two really huge plays called back. And this play I'm talking about, man, Stafford up to Nacua. You cannot replicate what they did on this play. It comes back. You won't see it. You had
Tons of field position flipping. Like as we approach the second half, I think the Rams punted it, pinned the Falcons back on the 1. Beautiful punt. The Falcons, I think, go 3 and out because they just had to run it 3 times in a row, and the Rams loaded up the box. The Falcons punt it back to the Rams. And on the first play of the drive, this is in the second quarter, late. First play of that drive, Stafford throws a pick. Looking for deep balls. It seemed like he was looking for deep balls a lot of the night. Throws a pick to the rookie. I can't remember his name, number 31 for Atlanta. He's leading the league in interceptions for rookies. And the Falcons, I think they also have the guy, a rookie, leading in sacks for rookies. Maybe it's a Rororo. I like that cat's name. So you look at this game for Atlanta, meaningless game. The way they play, the resilience they play, the ability to finish out the game when it was 27-24 and the LA Rams had the ball. You got the rookie league leader in sacks. You got the rookie league leader in picks. You got probably the best individual performance I've seen with my eyes in an NFL game this year in Bijan Robinson. It says here that Bijan Robinson had last night 190 plus yards after catch. Yak. I hope I'm reading that statistic right. I feel like that could be right, dude. Maybe it's on the ground and in the air. I don't know if it's yards after catch necessarily. Maybe yards after contact. I would believe that, though. Because this cat Bijan, dude, every single time he popped a big run like he did, there was a guy, and the Rams have one of the best front sevens in all of football. D-line and linebackers. They got one of the best front sevens in all of pro football. And there was typically, like, say it's a toss sweep. I think the 93-yard touchdown was maybe a toss sweep or a stretch play. You got to make one guy miss. He makes it look easy. And then he makes 3 or 4 other guys miss in the first and second level. I can't imagine what Bijan Robinson would do to my Cincinnati Bengals. I can't. the league leader in broken tackles, my Cincinnati Bengals, the boys in stripes. Always try to make it about the Bengals if I can. Can you imagine what Bijan Robinson would do to the first and second levels of the Cincinnati Bengals? LA Rams got one of the best front sevens in all of pro football, and he made them look silly with ease last night. 93-yard touchdown. It was one of the I think it was the longest play from scrimmage of the NFL season. I might be wrong. Somebody fact check me on that. But Bijan, holy shit, dude. That's how you play, man. That's how you keep them churning. And then you thank God after. You get up, you get through the second level, and then you finish. You turn on the Jets and you finish. It was insane to watch multiple plays that should have only been 3 or 4 yard gains turn into more than 20 yards. Look, there's spots on the football field. You can make a big impact at any position on the football field. You can. It's a team game. Everybody chips in, right? Quarterback position is obviously important. I'm always going to say that interior D-line play is one of the most important things in football. If you got a dominant
3 technique nose that can punch, get impact, get off quick, and really apply pressure on the quarterback. That's the ideal situation if you get so much push with a 3 technique or a nose guard, a shade. If they can get that much push and get off where they can be applying pressure on the quarterback on a pass play from the interior, that really changes the game to me. Run game aside, because they're obviously going to be there plugging the run game. We saw the impact Aaron Donald made on games, right? That's what I mean. But golly, man, when you get a special back like LaDainian Tomlinson, when you get a special back like Adrian Peterson, when you get a special back like Sean Alexander, Steven Johnson, a guy that can literally Houdini, whether it's with strength, finesse, a combination, strong legs, keeping them churning, maybe catching balls out of the backfield. Darren Sproles was always good at that, punt returns. But when you got a guy like Adrian Peterson that's liable to go for 190 or 200, and it's pro football, like, you know these guys are going to get bottled up, but then somehow they have some sort of skill or ability or natural God-given sixth sense where they're able to literally create something out of nothing. After last night's game, I'm comfortable putting Bijan Robinson in that category. It's been a bleak year for the Falcons. It's been a very bleak year. But I think the significance of the Monday night game that happened last night is that you got a glimpse into the future of this Raheem Morris-led Atlanta Falcons franchise. Look, I don't know how old Kirk Cousins is. You got to think about making him the guy. With all the pieces around, Drake London finally started contributing. I've been a less of a Drake London believer before this year than I'd like to admit. Guys played really well. Seems to be a solid wide receiver 2 by league standards, I would say. Got potential, I think, to break into to maybe a wide receiver 1 role. That's how the Falcons see him. And then you got Kyle Pitts, who's finally starting to contribute as well. And then you got this kid, Bijan Robinson. I have not, watching the NFL this year, seen an individual performance like Bijan Robinson put on last night against the Rams. I just haven't. It was a beautiful thing to see. Because this cat literally changed the complexion of the entire game with his 2 legs. Pause. Maybe. I don't know. But he literally changed the complexion of the game. By himself. I couldn't have been more impressed. The game was just, oh man, it delivered big time. Just consistently breaking tackles on a front 7, like I said, that's one of the best in pro football. Like, generational. I mean, people are saying in the media today about Bijan Robinson after seeing that game that he's a generational type player. Okay? I get generational performance last night. One night, generational performance against one of the best teams in football right now. Some people in the media today are saying Bijan Robinson is a generational type player after that game last night. And I don't know if I'm ready to buy into that, but I don't blame him at all. Rams could not execute their plan to stop him in any capacity. And like I said, the Rams, they were heavily favored. Bijan Robinson put the Falcons on his back and helps his team pull out the dub. And like I said earlier, Stafford's MVP odds after last night are not looking good. I think it's going to go to Drake May. It could go to Sam Darnold, who has led back-to-back 13-win seasons in the NFL, leading the Seahawks this year, leading the Vikings last year. Obviously, the Vikings sorely missed Sam Darnold, made a huge mistake letting him go, in my opinion. But you can't miss guys who are wide open in big moments like that, like Stafford did on Monday Night Football in Week 17 last night. You can't miss guys in those moments who are that open and expect to be MVP. You just can't do it. And so for that reason, I'm talking a couple plays here. For that reason, I think Stafford's out of the MVP race. It's just how it's shaken out, you know. And it sucks because those couple of plays, especially because the Rams ended up losing, those couple of plays will end up being what costs him the award. And I saw some beautiful, I'm talking beautiful throws from Stafford last night. Marvelous, gorgeous throws from Stafford last night. And like I said, I think one of the best ones won't be shown on a single highlight reel today because it got called back from a holding from the OG DJ Humphries. You know? So it didn't hurt the Rams much in the seeding. The NFC and really the AFC too are all but locked in. We got two teams still buckling on the outside looking in, one for each conference. The Ravens sit on the outside looking in the AFC. If they beat Pittsburgh on Sunday in Week 18, they will win the AFC North Championship and earn themselves a playoff berth. And I think the Ravens could be pretty dangerous in the playoffs. I think the Ravens would certainly be more dangerous in the playoffs than the Pittsburgh Steelers would. Without DK Metcalf, Pittsburgh's just not explosive enough on offense. That's really their main issue. And their defense at large has been completely inconsistent. They had the AFC North in sole control, in sole possession going into their Week 17 game against the Browns, and they seemed more worried about keeping Myles Garrett from getting the single-season sack record for the NFL than actually beating the Browns. I believe more in the Ravens than I do the Steelers. Will they be able to win this game, win this Week 18 game against Pittsburgh? I think if they hand it off, they actually play to the strengths of their team, which is, again, in their running back. This is what I'm talking about. You got to, I know it didn't work out for the Colts, but they got a special running back in Jonathan Taylor. The Ravens might be able to pull something of a season out of their butts here in Week 18 if they can get it done against Pittsburgh. And then the Falcons, they struggled too, but it seems like they've got... Look, man, I don't know if I'm willing to call Bijan Robinson a generational player yet just because of that game last night, but it was a generational type performance. And if he can carry that momentum into the offseason and pop off like that once or twice every couple of games, that makes no sense how I said that, but you guys get what I mean. If he can pull that together, those types of performances consistently in 2026-27, Falcons, they got young, promising guys on defense. They got a coach, I think, that they really love playing for, Raheem Morris. Shit, you might see Atlanta be one of those teams next year. It's easy to say that after last night, but the Rams are currently in the 6th seed spot. They were talking about the difference between 5 and 6 seed. I think there's some difference in whether you get a chance to play at home or not. I don't really understand the ticky-tacky rules of seeding in the NFL, and I think all of it is conditional on what's happening everywhere else, if that makes sense. So this game didn't really hurt the Rams that bad in terms of seeding, but I think it did really hurt Matthew Stafford's chance of winning an MVP, if not completely eradicated Matthew Stafford's chances to win the MVP. So currently, the LA Rams would be slated to go to Philadelphia for the playoffs, which would be a replay, I think. It was either the wild card or divisional round in the NFC last year when LA traveled to Philly in a snow game, and it was absolutely sick. It was a badass fucking game. I remember watching it on the golf course, and we got a literal. If God put in place a literal rerun of that game, brought some snow to Philadelphia, that would be sick. A replay of that game. I thought the Eagles Rams playoff game last year, snow game, I thought that was the sickest game of the playoffs as a whole last year. The Super Bowl was obviously a blowout. Man, as much as I loved watching the Chiefs get their ass kicked, and it's funny. I was rooting for the Chiefs. I'm saying that as a Bengals fan. Think about the reality we're in, me saying that. I was rooting for the Chiefs on Christmas against Denver. A buddy of mine, Chris Oladokin, was playing quarterback, starting at quarterback for the Chiefs because Mahomes got hurt. Gardner Minshew got hurt. Chris was the third guy. I never knew Chris incredibly well. My senior year of college, we would throw parties at our house after the football team would win, and Chris would come over to our house. And so, that was, and we would chat, because it was my house. But that was kind of the extension to which I knew Chris. But I was rooting for them. I wanted to see him ball, and they had a chance to win late. It was a really badass game against one of the best defenses in football. Might be the best defense in football. So shout out to Chris. Shout out to the Chiefs. But it was nice watching Kansas City. As a Bengals fan, I'm really trying not to be a hater. It was just, I didn't like to see a blowout in the Super Bowl, but if anyone was going to get blown out as a Bengals fan, I'm just saying. So the Rams still could be the 5 seed or something with Carolina or Tampa here. I guess it depends. Maybe they get the 6th seed if Carolina wins the division, and maybe they get the 5 seed if Tampa ends up winning that division. But if Atlanta wins next week, they play the Saints, I believe. The Falcons play the Saints in Week 18. If Atlanta's able to beat the New Orleans Saints, the Tampa Bay Carolina game in Week 18 will not matter. Carolina will win the division. And there's a very good look. I'll say this, though. Tyler Shuck has won 4 games in a row for the Saints. The Saints, I think, have found their guy at quarterback. So that's exciting. I want to see the city of New Orleans thrive, man. This is deeper than football. Okay, what else? We got a couple minutes left, so I'm trying to think if we need to cover any ground that I haven't covered yet today. I'm thinking we'll be back tomorrow. Guys in the chat, do y'all think that I should go to the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day? I'm really tossing it back and forth. It's about a 5.5 hour drive to Pasadena, California from Phoenix. And I have a $150 hotel credit through one of my credit cards that I have to use before the year ends. I could buy a hotel stay for like February. I just have to buy it before the year is over to get the credit. So I'm thinking about using it in Pasadena and going to the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. I think Alabama versus Indiana could be the sickest game of this round of the college football playoff. I really want to see Alabama get the win as an SEC supremacist against a fan base that has largely talked tons of shit on the SEC. I really would like to see that happen, but I wouldn't be heartbroken if Indiana won either, because that's a cool like Cinderella story. They're just going to talk endlessly about the SEC and it'll be insufferable, but I think objectively it'd be a sick game to go to, and I could get a ticket for like $135, guys, like $137 all in, out the door, fees and all. The tickets to this Rose Bowl game are not expensive at all, and it's a. I feel like I'm selling myself on it right now. It's a badass venue, historical venue, badass game, bucket list type of game. But man, I don't know. Man, I don't know. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should go to the Rose Bowl, because, like I said, I could book a hotel stay. I just got to use the I got to purchase it between now and midnight tomorrow. So if I booked something, like I could go to Zion National Park or something. You know, I could go to, I could do something. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to use it before the year's out, but I could use it to go to the Bama-Indiana game and go to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Really what I'm hung up on is the 11 hours of driving out of 24 hours. It's 11 hours round trip, right? But it could be worth it. I think it would be worth it, especially because tickets are like $135. But, you know, it's Pasadena, California, so like $150 for a hotel probably get me like, you know, and it's New Year's, and there's probably other people book hotels to come to the game. Like, I could probably get a better deal doing another trip, but I don't know. So I'm trying to think about that. Like, the chat seems like they think Luke's in the chat. Shout out to Luke. It's my editor, my dog, my homie. Yeah, Luke thinks I should go. Let's read the chat, and then I'm going to get you guys out of here, because I haven't looked at it all episode. As an Eagles fan, I want to see the Rams in the playoffs, but we playing Packers, which is better for us. NFC South is a wild division to be so bad this year. Yeah, I mean, the worst two divisions in football, it's the easiest take of all time, are the AFC North and the NFC South. So, I don't know which one's worse. I think the AFC North might be worse than the NFC South. Like, if they had a battle, I think the NFC South would come out on top, at least for this year. And I'm an AFC North supremacist, but I'm also a realist. Times have changed. AFC North might not be as gangster and hood and badass as it always has been, but I hope that changes. Big Dog, what's up? Long time. Been a little busy. You know we win in Sunday night, right? That's Lance, who's a Steelers fan. Yeah, I got the Ravens, dude. I mean, I'm neutral on the game. I really dislike Pittsburgh and Baltimore equally as a Bengals fan. So, I mean, I'm very neutral emotionally on that. But, I mean, Lance, if you're still in here, man, for your Steelers, I don't think even if the Steelers win Week 18, win the AFC North title, make the playoffs, I don't think they're going to win a game in the playoffs. I think the Ravens could, though. That's my objective opinion. Somebody says Josh Allen with eye emojis. Yeah, he missed that throw on that 2-point conversion, man. He was wide open, too. You got elite MVP-type guys. Matt Stafford missing wide open throws with the game on the line late last night. And then, yeah, Josh Allen missed that wide open throw, that pivot route in the back of the end zone, back left of the end zone to Khalil Shakir. Just missed him on a 2-point conversion. Could have won the Bills the game. Steelers are a mess without DK. Completely agree. They have no explosive element to their offense when DK Metcalf is out, and he's serving the second game of his suspension this week. So I think I got the Ravens, man. And then Lance says, that's because we know we could beat the Ravens. We wasn't giving Myles Garrett no sacks. Yeah, that was stupid. Would love to show the Rams are frauds as an Eagles fan. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Another snow game in Philly would be sick, dude. A replay of last year's playoff game. I thought that was the sickest playoff game in the whole playoffs last year was Rams on the road against the Eagles. Was it wild card or divisional round? I can't remember. If Eagles get home field advantage in the playoffs, you'll see them in the big one. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all. I think Seattle's really good. Chicago, even though they lost, looked really real on Sunday night. You know, they choked late, but the whole game they were playing their ass off. Eagles are my brother's favorite team. Marines so far, runner. Jalen Carter coming back after double shoulder to block a PAT. Yeah, that was sick. Jared Verse blocked field goal last night was absolutely beautiful. It was a masterpiece, that play by Jared Verse. That is teach tape. They should be showing Jared Verse's field goal block last night against Atlanta. They should be showing the young cats that teach tape in 2064. That's how beautiful that blocked field goal was by Jared Verse. He got skinny. He's a big-ass guy. He got skinny, worked his way through, aggressive, but didn't come close to getting any penalty. Put his paws up, blocks it perfectly where the ball literally bounces right back into his mitts, and he takes it to the house. That was a defining, game-changing play. Like I said earlier in the show, I've never seen somebody make a play like that, a team make a play like a blocked field goal return touchdown and lose. That's how wildin' of a game that Monday Night Football matchup was. So I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out Luke. I miss you, dog. I miss you, brother. We'll see you in a couple of days, I'm sure. And I'll let you guys know if I decide to go to the Rose Bowl. If I decide to go to the Rose Bowl, there will be no show on New Year's Day. But I haven't booked it. It's not set in stone. So definitely show tomorrow. And as it stands, show on New Year's Day. Like I said, I'll keep you guys advised. But appreciate everybody tapping in today. Appreciate you if you're subscribed to the channel. You're in at the ground floor of something that's going to be very special. Fastest growing football show in the land. We're live every single day, Monday through Friday, 6-ish Eastern. We've been going at 6:30 lately. And got to update the audio platforms. You can catch old episodes on there for now until I get it updated, get my head out of my ass. Daily short clips are going out on YouTube, on here, going out on Instagram, In the Jar Clips, going out on my TikTok, Clark Dupree. Follow my personal Instagram, Clark Dupree. And most important, I don't give a shit if you do anything else. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the main goal. Doesn't cost you anything. It's easy. And we're here every day. We're earning it. So one day, if not today, you'll subscribe. I hope it's today, but if it's not, at some point you will. So that's all there is to it, guys. I got to head out to jiu-jitsu. I'm late. I'd love to sit here with you guys, but it's something I got to do. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.